I'll say it out loud. From what I've observed, living alone as a single person over 40 can be expensive as heck. And I don't mean, oh, I wish I had someone to split the Netflix bill with expensive. I mean structurally, systematically, financially punishing expensive. If you're single and making good money but still feel broke, it's not in your head. Today I'm breaking down the real numbers, why the system is stacked against you, and exactly how to plan so you're not screwed at 70. And as usual, I'll give you an action plan and homework to complete at the end. So let's go. Single people, especially single women over 40, face what researchers call the singles tax. You're paying more for literally everything, earning less over your lifetime, and being asked to fund the same retirement on one income instead of two. All right, let's start with the math. According to recent research, single people pay approximately 23% more per person for housing than couples. That's not because you're bad at budgeting, it's structural. A one-bedroom apartment costs what it costs. There's nothing to split with someone. The rent is the same regardless, but you're paying 100%. Let's use real numbers. Housing is the biggest hit. The average one-bedroom rent in a mid-tier city is about $1,900 a month. A single person pays $1,900. A couple each pays $950. The annual difference is $11,400 more for the single person. Let's jump to utilities and bills. The internet, let's say it's $80 a month. It's the same regardless of if one person or two people are using it. Electricity, it's higher per person cost. No one to split the bill with. Streaming services, $50 to $80 a month. Couples share it and you pay it alone. The annual difference could be between $1,200 and $1,800 more. Jumping right into food, you have the bulk buying penalty. Single people spend about $1,600 more per year on food than couples. Why? Groceries are packaged for families. That family-sized chicken costs less per pound, but half of it goes bad before you can even eat it. Meal kits are cheaper per serving for 2 to 4 people. Plus, eating out solo often means full-price entrees with no splitting. Jumping into insurance, you have the couples discount. Car insurance is actually cheaper when you're adding a spouse. Home insurance offers multiple policy discounts for married couples. And even health insurance through employers often costs less per person for family plans. The annual difference could mean $500 to $1,000 more. Travel. Hotels charge single supplements. You pay almost the full room rate even though you're one person. Package deals are priced per couple. Even rail cars offer discounts for traveling together. One vacation can cost you $500 to $1,500 more than a couple paying per person. The total singles tax, when you add it all up, research shows single people pay $7,000 to $20,000 more per year depending on location. In expensive cities like New York, DC, San Francisco, that number hits $20,000 annually. Over 20 years, that's $140,000 to $400,000 that could have been in your retirement account, but instead went to the singles penalty. Now, if you're a black or brown woman, everything I just said gets worse. Why? Because you're facing multiple penalties at once. You have the pay gap. Black women earn 64 cents for every dollar white men earn. Latina women earn 57 cents. Over a 40-year career, that's $398,000 to $1 million in lost earnings compared to white men doing the same exact job. Less money in means less money to save. It's just simple math. Here's the career interruption penalty. Women over 40, especially women of color, are more likely to take time off for caregiving, to include parents, kids, and family. They face age and race discrimination in hiring, get passed over for promotions, and earn less in Social Security because of those gaps in employment. And here's the brutal part. According to AARP, single women over 50 are among the most financially vulnerable groups when it comes to retirement readiness and housing security. So you're not imagining it. You're not bad with money. The system is literally designed to make it harder for you specifically. Let's talk about the retirement crisis. Women live longer than men on average, about 5 to 6 years longer. A woman retiring at 67 can expect to live another 20 to 22 years. That sounds great until you realize more years in retirement means more money needed. So you're working with a smaller pot that needs to last more years. Social Security won't save you, sis. The average Social Security payment for women is $1,700. For men, it's $2,100. Why is it lower for women? Because of what I previously said. Because it's calculated based on your lifetime earnings. Lower pay means lower benefits. Let's talk about healthcare. Women need more healthcare as they age. We live longer, so we have more years of medical expenses. And here's the kicker. Long-term care costs are devastating when you're alone. Average cost of assisted living is about $4,500 to $7,000 a month. For a nursing home, that could be $8,000 to $12,000 a month. Couples can sometimes care for each other in early decline, saving years of expenses. Single women, well, they need to pay for help earlier and for longer. The loneliness tax. This one's not talked about enough. Being single and aging means decision making is yours alone and you're not sharing it. There's pros and cons to that one. No built-in caregiver for emergencies, and you're at higher risk of isolation, which has healthcare costs associated with it. Now you're having to pay for service that couples traditionally provide to each other. And research shows social isolation increases mortality by 50%. So loneliness isn't just emotional, it's financial and physical. If you're 45 with less than $200,000 saved, you're likely feeling a pinch and probably feel like you need to work a long time. Even with $500,000 saved, if you're planning to retire at 65, you need to be very strategic about how you spend and where you live. All right, enough of the scary facts. If you have 3 times your salary saved by 40, if you have 4.5 times your salary saved by 45, and if you have 6 times your salary saved by 50, then you're doing pretty well and already on the right track. However, listen up to hone in on key areas to up your game. If you don't have that saved, then let's talk solutions. Here's your financial playbook for living well alone now and retiring securely later. Strategy number 1, reframe your savings target. You can't use the standard retirement advice. It's built for couples. Here's the new rule for single women. Save 25 to 35% of your income, not the standard 15 to 20%. Target 12 to 15 times your annual expenses saved by retirement, not 10x that you usually hear. If you're in the FIRE community, 25x still definitely works as the plan. Plan to live to 95 and not 80. Why higher? Because you have, number 1, no spousal Social Security to fall back on. And number 2, no partner to share expenses with in retirement. And number 3, you have a longer life expectancy in general. And number 4, you'll have higher healthcare costs over more years. For your emergency fund, aim for 6 to 12 months of expenses instead of the standard 3 to 6 months. Again, you don't have a partner to supplement the emergency part. Strategy number 2, build multiple income streams. You cannot rely on one job. It's too risky. Your income architecture should include multiple streams. Your primary job is your base income. Then you have investments generating dividends and returns. You can dive into rental property or REITs. Create a side business or consulting business and utilize that expertise that you've gained throughout the years. Multiple streams give you options. Strategy number 3, optimize housing and transportation. These 2 are your biggest expenses. Housing could eat 30 to 50% of single women's income. This is where you win or lose. This is where you need to have hard conversations with yourself about how much you're spending on housing and transportation. So options to consider are, first, buying a duplex or small multi-unit, live in one and rent the others. It's called house hacking. Number 2, consider a strategic roommate in your 40s or 50s. I know, but hear me out in a few seconds. Number 3, downsize now to save aggressively. And number 4, move to a lower cost of living area if your work allows. And number 5, co-housing with friends. You'll have shared common areas and private units. And number 6, if you're single with more than one car, ask yourself, do you really need 2 cars? Challenge your thinking on this one. See, here's the deal. If you can cut housing from $2,000 to $1,200 a month, that's $9,600 a year. Invested at 8% for 20 years, that's $460,000 that you can have saved. One decision, nearly $500,000. Strategy number 4, maximize tax-advantaged accounts. Every dollar in taxes is a dollar not growing for retirement. Here are your 2026 contribution limits. For 401ks, it's $24,500. It's $32,500 if you're 50 and over. For an IRA, it's $7,000, but it's $8,000 if you're 50 and over. For health savings accounts, if you qualify, your limit is $4,400 as an individual and $5,400 if you're 55 and older. Catch-up contributions, use all of them. Use as many as you can if you qualify. Strategy number 5, aggressively optimize income. You can only cut expenses so far. Income has unlimited upside. These are your actions. Negotiate raises annually. Black women are least likely to negotiate. Change that. Job hop every 3 to 5 years for 10 to 20% bumps if you can. And start a side business, like I said earlier. Monetize your knowledge, consulting, speaking, courses. And finally, ask for equity stock options if available. Going from $120,000 to $150,000, that's $30,000 more per year. Save 70% of that means that you'll raise $21,000 more in retirement accounts. Strategy number 6, plan for healthcare aggressively. This will be your biggest retirement expense after housing. Max out your HSA now. It's a retirement account in disguise if you're eligible for one. Number 7, build your chosen family and support system. Financial planning isn't just about money, it's about support structures. Develop close friendships with other single women your age. Have legal documents naming your trusted friends or your siblings, and create a shared resource network. Who can you call at 2 a.m.? Build your professional support team, your lawyers, your financial advisors, your CPA. Build a long-term care plan that doesn't assume family will do it. And strategy number 8, estate planning is non-negotiable. If you die without a will, the state decides where your money goes, probably not where you want it to go. You must get a will and say who gets what. Second, healthcare proxy. Who will make the medical decisions for you? Third, power of attorney. Who will manage finances if you can't? Keep your beneficiaries updated on all accounts and have a digital asset plan. Where are your passwords? What accounts do you have? What's your online presence? The cost for all of this is about $1,500 to $3,000 for everything, but it's totally worth it. Strategy number 9, consider geographic arbitrage. Your dollars go further in some places than others, and if you're single, you are likely to have much more flexibility than you think when it comes to geo arbitrage. I'm not saying you have to move, but if you're in San Francisco spending $3,500 a month on rent, just know that there are options. Strategy number 10, invest like your life depends on it, because it really does. Single women can't afford to be too conservative with investing. You need growth. Open that taxable brokerage account if you don't have one already. Don't let fear keep you in safe investments earning 2%. You need 7 to 10% on average returns to build wealth. And please, studies show women are actually better investors than men because we're less impulsive. Here's what I want you to do in the next 90 days. Not next year, not someday, the next 3 months. Screenshot this list, or you can download a nice pretty copy using the link in the description. Listen, the challenges are structural, but you're not helpless or broken. You're strategic, you're resourceful, and you're building wealth without all of those advantages that the system gives married people. And that means you're gangsta and one to be reckoned with. If you're ready to build your wealth plan, drop solo wealth in the comments so I know I'm not sitting here talking to myself. Let me know you're committed. Subscribe for weekly financial content. You deserve to live well now and retire securely. Let's make it happen. See you later.